slave codes regulated how slaves could be punished, usually going so far as to apply no penalty for accidentally killing a slave while punishing them. Later laws began to apply restrictions on this, but slave owners were still rarely punished for killing their slave. Historian Lawrence M. Friedman wrote, 10 Southern codes made it a crime to mistreat a slave under the Louisiana Civil Code of 1825. If a master was convicted of cruel treatment, the judge could order the sale of the mistreated slave, presumably to a better master, right? I mean, like, you see black men being shot dead in their cars with their wives or children, being shot in the back by police, being unarmed and gunned down, and then the perpetrators of those crimes receive no punishment. I mean, in parts of the United States, white men have murdered black men and got no penalty whatsoever. All right. I remember watching a video on Facebook where a guy came out of his house and he saw two black guys running down the street. They broke into his neighbor's house, but they were outside of the house with a couple of TVs, and this guy took a shotgun and gunned him down, and the cops were telling him not to do it. But he got away with that. Cold-blooded murder. I mean, when we look at things like that, it's like the value of my life is not, equal to the value of yours, and I don't believe that. You understand? At the end of the day, we have the right to vote. Now I understand that, and we as citizens of the United States have to continually be vigilant and fight for those rights. All right, as black people, it's very important that we look at how the way things are today. All right, and like I keep going back to the fact that 55% of white women vote for Donald Trump. All right, that like, through his history and his father's history, is a racist. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. All right. If you're in any doubt, you're like, you just drank the Kool-Aid. Okay. And, that being said, we need to be not just politically active and, vote and, try to put people who have our best interest in mind into political office and into the legislature, to enact laws that, are to our benefit and advantage. We owe it to ourselves, all right, to do that. On every level, we have to be vigilant and we have to fight. Education and educating ourselves is one means of fight or resistance, all right? Because knowledge is power, all right? The more knowledge that we have about the laws of the state and just, life itself, is power, all right? And the issue of Second Amendment right, even without the Second Amendment, as a human being, you have a right to fight and defend your life, all right? Without a Second Amendment or with a Second Amendment, you have the right to defend yourself, self-defense, all right? Every black man, woman, and child in America should, be trained on firearms and, be military-minded, all right? We need to be military-minded, all right? In the event of a natural disaster or anything like that, we should be able to defend ourselves from whatever. All right. I mean, that's what intelligent people do. And that's what you see, the various posses and, other paramilitary organizations in the United States. They're preparing for natural disasters. And, a race war is a disaster of the makings of human beings. All right. You have little Nazis running around, the countries and Klansmen that are fighting for their rights to bear arms. Like, I have no problem with that. Not at all. Because we want access to weapons for self-defense. All right? Every kid that every black kid in America and every grandma in America should know how to shoot. All right? Know how to defend themselves. I mean, and even if you say we have to defend ourselves against ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Because some of us have lost our natural minds. Okay? All right? So, it's only reasonable and rational that we think in terms of that.